Hi, my name is Kenny Perez and I will be talking to you about neurologic disease. What is neurologic disease? It is a malfunction of the nervous system. The nervous system consists of your brain, your spinal cord, and nerves. The nervous system usually helps you, for example, move, it helps you speak, it helps you swallow, it helps you breathe, it helps you with learning, memory, all these functions the nervous system does. There are over 600 neurologic diseases. You have, for example, diseases that are faulty with the genes, there's problems with the development of the nervous system, there's cells that are damaged or dead, which is usually the cause of Parkinson's or Alzheimer's disease. You have disease in blood vessels, which causes strokes. You also have injuries in your spinal or in your brain, and seizures disorders that causes epilepsy. And you have cancers that causes brain tumors, and you also have diseases that come through infections, and usually that causes meningitis. But today I'll be talking about Alzheimer's disease, or AD. Alzheimer's disease usually affects elderlies that are over 60, and there's about 5 million Americans that suffer from this disease. What are the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease? Well, some of them are, for example, people start not recognizing their family members. They are not able to speak. They're not able to understand. They cannot make conversations with other people. They start hallucinating. They lose their memory. They start forgetting stuff. They start forgetting about past events. There's also depression, and eventually there's a cause of death. So in our brain, there's 4 different lobes. You have the frontal lobe, you have the parietal lobe, you have the occipital lobe, and you have the temporal lobe. And these lobes, it helps you understand that there's different functions in your brain. And these are the functions that we were talking about movement, hearing, about vision, all those that you need that the nervous system does. So in our brain, there's a bunch of neurons. There's hundreds of neurotransmitters that send messages. And these neurons are the ones that help us, for example, if you get cut or if you get burned, a bunch of neurotransmitters sends messages to your brain, and it tells you, hey, you've been cut, or hey, it hurts. So without having these messages, then your brain really gets damaged, or there's a lot of bad effects. For example, in AD, there are neurofibrillary tangles and there's amyloid plaques, and these are basically proteins. For example, the amyloid plaques are proteins of fragments that are processed differently, and usually they become toxic. Now, the neurofibrillary tangles are also proteins called tau, and these are proteins that separate from the microtubules, and they fall apart, and that's when they become tangles, and usually those are the ones that kill the cells. And when the cells die, of course, you can see from the healthy brain, from a patient that has Alzheimer's, the brain begins to shrink. And that's when you start having problems with thinking, with planning, with remembering, and all those functions that you need. Scientists recommend to have early diagnosis. And this is very crucial because with assessments, you can know if a person is going to have Alzheimer's. Through lab tests, through CT scans and MRIs, these tests would help understand if somebody is suffering from Alzheimer's. Unfortunately, there's no cure for Alzheimer's. At this point, they haven't found a cure, but they say that it may increase in years to come. And they have given a couple of vaccines or immunotherapies or symptomatic treatments to see if they can help patients with Alzheimer's. since they haven't found any cure, we are hoping that scientists do more research and find a way for patients to get cured from this disease that is causing a lot of damage in our brain, causing a lot of problems with our family members that have Alzheimer's or friends that have Alzheimer's. And I have suggested 10 things that might give you idea if somebody has Alzheimer's, and a couple of websites you can go that if you know someone with Alzheimer's, you can visit these web pages and you can get more information. I hope this presentation has helped you a little bit of what Alzheimer's is and the causes of them. Thank you.